Well, it's about 10 minutes till 11 on Saturday, the 20th of April, and we are underway, leaving Sandy Hook. As you can tell, it's not the prettiest of days, but it was raining earlier, and it's not supposed to rain anymore. And in 2 or 3 hours, it's supposed to break up a little bit and get a little bit of sunshine. I have wind enough to sail, but right now we are motor sailing under the main because it has been so gloomy for the last 2 or 3 days, and I've used so much power using my computer and all of that sort of thing, the microwave and coffee pots and all of that stuff, that my house bank is really low. Makes me more sure that I need not just solar power, but wind power as well when we do the electrical propulsion conversion on this boat. So I think we're pretty sure we're going to have both of those, because we've had wind enough that we could have been charging, but we haven't had sun enough. We've not been getting any amps. We've been getting some, but not, not enough to keep up. So I'm having to motor I'll motor for a couple hours. I'll probably motor till I get to the other side of the New York traffic separation scheme. And then I'll secure the motor. We're supposed to get a little sun, like I said, this afternoon. That'll help. And I don't know what it's supposed to do for the next couple of days. I think it's supposed to be cloudy again tomorrow. We'll see what we have to do. But now my laptop really eats the power when I'm doing videos or working on photographs or any of that stuff. It really sucks up the power. So things I have to keep in mind when I'm putting together this system for the conversion. But anyway, we're underway under not real comfortable conditions, but once again, I am happy I have that oxygen tent. It's not too bad inside there. And when I get the hard Dodger built, we'll modify the oxygen tent so I'll still have that capability. Because if for nothing else, the amount of fatigue it reduces. Sailing when you're not out in the weather all the time, you can get away from that, you can get in, get reasonably comfortable. Your fatigue level goes down. And when you're single-handing, that's important. The more fatigued you are, the more mistakes you make. But anyway, here we are, underway again, on our way to Buzzards Bay. Well, it's about 10 minutes till 3 in the afternoon. The sun has come out. It's gotten to be quite nice. We are currently reaching under jib and, of course, our single reef main, because that's as high as we can get it right now. And we're doing okay. Nothing too spectacular, but it's a nice day. It's a good day to be out here. I've seen 3 other sailboats out here today. People out enjoying the Atlantic Ocean in their sailboats. It's kind of cool. It's nice. Nice seeing people out on the water again. We are on that end of the season. Summer will be here shortly. Here in an hour or so, according to the Windy app, the wind is going to veer, and we're going to end up having to jibe everything over and run straight downwind for about an hour maybe, and then it'll slowly keep veering until we're on a broad reach for a little while, and then continue on until we're on a reach on the port tack. Right about sunset, I think, is when that's supposed to happen, and the winds are supposed to build to 10 to 15 miles an hour, 10 to 15 knots. And then we're supposed to keep that until morning time, and then I think it's going to back a little bit and put us on a broad reach, same speed, and that should push us on into Long Island around Montauk and whatnot, and up towards Buzzards Bay. I figured if I could average 5 knots, I could be there before sundown tomorrow. Well, right now we're averaging 3.8 knots, which is expected because the winds are calm. But with the increase in winds coming up, and we're supposed to have those 10 to 15s all day tomorrow, hopefully the average will build and we'll end up getting in there before sunset tomorrow. It'd be really nice. I'd like to just anchor up, get a good night's sleep, and then catch the first tide Monday to go through Cape Cod Canal and into Massachusetts Bay, and then keep on cooking up towards Maine. I'd really like to be in Maine by the latter part of the week for sure. Midweek would be really nice. So, but right now things are marvelous. Getting a little hungry. My eggs have pretty much been used up, I think, from this morning. So I think I'm going to go down and see what kind of meal I can make myself for the day, and keep enjoying the day. "7:30, sun's about to go down, it looks like. It's getting chilly. I was just listening to the marine forecast on the VHF, and it says it's going to get cold tonight. There was even talk about frost warnings and bring your plants in and all that type of stuff. So it may feel like November when I first got underway on this boat by the time the sun comes back out to warm us back up. We've been making good progress here for the last several hours. We've been doing a good steady 5 knots and oftentimes a good steady 6 knots. I think we're averaging about 4.5 from the time we got underway, so we're catching up my average. I'd like to average this trip out at 5 knots, because that'll put me into Buzzards Bay before sundown tomorrow, within the next 24 hours. So we will see what we get. Right now we're still kind of broad reaching it with a southwest breeze. Now it's saying it's going to come northwest late, they say. So define late. I'm figuring by midnight it'll have shifted. And then we'll have that the rest of the way over, for the most part. I think probably when the sun comes up in the morning, the winds will calm a bit and then pick back up. But we should have fairly fair winds for this entire voyage. I hope so. I hope so. It's nice being able to just go. But I think I'm going to sit here. I just had dinner, and I think I'm going to sit here and enjoy the view, because it's a lovely evening. And there's a lighthouse right over there. This is why I say it. Well, it's 21:50, and I just had to go out on deck. I was laying here and I heard a click, 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 and it's like, that sounded weird. I wonder what that was. I was listening, see if something else happened. And in a few minutes, the main started flogging like it shouldn't be doing with the wind the way it is right now. And I'm like, wow, is the wind shifting? The wind's not supposed to shift tonight. And I went up on deck, and the gooseneck had come apart. Okay, so I put a heavy coat on because it's a little breezy out, a little chilly. And I put my harness on and I went out on deck, got the main down. And while I was up there, I was looking at it. That's the bolt that holds the gooseneck together on this boat. And it was laying down right next to the tow rail. Fortunately, it didn't go over the side. And I'm like, that's the bolt that's holding the gooseneck together on this boat? We're gonna have to work on this and make this a little better. But anyway, the boom is secured. The main is down. We're reach to close reach under just the jib, and we're still making 4.5 knots. So okay, we were doing 6s and 7s with the main up. Oh well. So when sun comes up and I can see a little bit better what I'm doing. I mean, I have good spreader lights on this boat. It's pretty bright out there, but come on. It's we've got a pretty good wind blowing right now. It's pitching and rolling, and it's nighttime. Come on. So we're under control. We're into no danger. So in the morning when it's brighter, it's supposed to be a little calmer. Here in a couple hours, it's supposed to calm a little bit, according to the Windy app that I just checked. So I'll go out there, sun up, see if I can't manhandle that boom into place and put that bolt back in it. And maybe I'll put a little Loctite on it this time. It doesn't look like it had any Loctite or anything on it. It was probably just screwed in there. And I never have yet taken the rig apart on this boat to clean it or do anything with it. So I guess that'll be what I do when I get into Buzzards Bay and anchor up. I guess maybe I'll anchor up for a day and do some boom maintenance. Anyway, life is never dull at sea. Never dull at sea. And of course, nothing ever happens during the daylight when it's calm. It's always at night when it's blowing. But that's what makes it so fun. So make sure I don't lose this. And I guess I'm gonna shut the light out and see if I can't take a nap for about half an hour. There's nobody on the horizon. And I could use a snooze. So, more later. It's 8 o'clock in the morning on the 21st, I think, of April, 2024. And although the sun's been up for 2 hours, and so have I have not gone outside yet to look at the boom and to fix it. It got cold last night. So right now I'm sitting here, I've got my heater turned on, trying to warm up a little bit. Second cup of coffee. When that's done, I'll finish getting dressed for cold weather, and I'll go out and look at it. I checked the weather here just a little while ago, and it was like 42 or 3 with a wind chill of the upper 30s, something like that. And that's on shore, about 3 miles, 4 miles off my port side here. But yeah, no, I don't want to go out there right now. We're making 4.5 knots. A little while ago, I saw 5.5 knots. So with just the jib out. So no big rush. It did calm a little bit during the wee morning hours. And we were only doing 2.5, 3.5 knots, something like that. But now it's picking back up. It's supposed to back later in the day, and we'll be just running straight downwind. It'd be nice to have the boom back so we can run wing and wing and make up some of this time, but it is what it is. I'm thinking now, since we're so far behind what my plan was, which no plan ever survives first contact. I'm thinking now maybe I'll just stop at Block Island if I'm not able to get the boom rigged so that I can fix it and get the bolt back in it and all of that type of stuff. I'll just stop at Block Island and fix it on anchor. Or I could just go right straight across Long Island Sound to Point Judith and do it there. But I'm not making Buzzards Bay and the Cape Cod Canal by sundown. No, it'll be sometime tomorrow before I'm there. So I may as well stop someplace, get a good night's sleep. If it's going to be cold, at least I can be warm. And we'll proceed on tomorrow. But for right now, I'm going to drink this cup of coffee and then head out and see if I can't put the boom back together. Well, there's the boom. And the gooseneck. I don't know if I can get that from this angle. Yep, there's the gooseneck. Right there. And I just, in this pitchy rolly sea here, I've decided, since she's secure, I'd have to loosen up everything that's holding the boom in place right now to be able to put that bolt back in. So we're making decent way under just the jib. So I've decided, well, let's clean up the sail a little bit better and get things secured. And probably stop at Block Island whenever we get there this afternoon to effect. Yeah, see, I don't want to be working on this thing in this. To effect the repairs, and then we'll get underway again tomorrow. So that's what we're gonna do. Well, would you look at that? We got the boom fixed. Things calmed a little bit, so I didn't feel like I was about to get thrown off the deck while I was trying to manhandle that thing around. And I got it lined up and the bolt put back in it and tightened up. So I didn't have any Loctite. I couldn't find, I think I have some on this boat, but you know, the way this entire trip's been since I bought this boat, I may or may not. And if I do, I have no idea where it is, so I couldn't find it. So I just tightened up the bolt as best I could, figuring if it's been like that since before I bought the boat and it's just come loose, it'll probably get me to my next port of call where I can go in and buy some Loctite and Loctite it so that it doesn't back out like that again. But anyway, we've got 2 sails up again, which is kind of cool. I was getting tired of going slower than I needed to. I had said, well, I'm just going to stop in Block Island, but now I'll make up that decision when I get there. I may go ahead and just keep pushing all the way through until I get to Buzzards Bay, which probably won't be until tomorrow morning sometime, or tomorrow afternoon, or something like that. So, I don't know. We will see what we do. If I do that, since I'm going to be in Long Island Sound, it's going to be a lot of little cat naps all night, not any good sleep. So, but at this stage, I'm not getting to Block Island until after dark anyway. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll figure that out when we get there. See how I feel when I get to Block Island. Right now, we are 30 miles from Block Island, something like that. So before we were doing 10 knots. I can't see the GPS right now to tell you how fast I'm going now. But I was figuring on Block Island between 10 and 11 o'clock tonight. If I make it to Block Island before the sun goes down, I may pull in and stop. We'll see. But at least the boom is up. We're operational again fully, given our prior constraints. The autopilot likes it a lot better, having two sails out there. So anyway, we're underway some more. Here we go. The adventure continues. Wahoo. Oh, yeah. Well, there is the requisite making a cup of coffee in the morning clip that you always see on these types of videos. It is Tuesday, April 23rd, about 7 minutes past 7 in the morning. I'm just having a hard time getting moving today, but this is a movement day. Not a lot of wind right now. The oxygen tent is full of condensation. I tap the top and it rains. Holy smokes. That's one thing about this oxygen tent. It will collect moisture. We'll open her up today and let her dry out real good. It looks like it's going to be another beautiful sunny day. Winds aren't going to be that hard. Excuse me, very light, I think. But we'll move. We'll go as far as we can. No particular rush. There's supposed to be a big blow tomorrow night in the Gulf of Maine. So if I can get to somewhere today, that'll be fine. Probably over on the north coast of the Sound. And tomorrow I'll move over towards the Buzzards Bay Canal, or the Cape Cod Canal. Yeah, it's early yet. And then Thursday, we'll proceed through the canal and up into the Gulf of Maine and on up that away. Been driving myself insane yesterday. Well, for a while here now, but especially yesterday, trying to figure out the solar system for this electric motor transition that we're going to do when we get up there. Trying to get all this stuff figured out, this new technology understood, and so I can get the order placed so that I'll have all my components and everything will be squared away, so when I start work I can just go right through her and get her done in a very efficient way. That's the AIS. Hold on. My AIS has an interesting little glitch in it. You turn it on, it does its checks, everything looks good. After a couple of 3 minutes, an alarm goes off saying that there's an antenna disconnect. You reset, you clear the alarm, everything works fine. I have put new antenna wires and new everything on the system, and it still does it. It's just something that it wants you to know, yeah, I'm here. Because once you clear that alarm, the AIS works absolutely as advertised, perfectly. So it's just a morning ritual that we go through when I turn the AIS on. So, but anyway, we're going to get underway today. I don't know where I'm going to. I'm going to go as far as I can until the sunlight starts dwindling, and then I'll find a nice little anchorage and drop the hook. I don't know that we're going to be going very fast, or at least this morning. I think we're supposed to have, I don't know, 10 knots of wind out of the south later in the day. So we'll at least get to the other side of the sound and start moving up maybe towards New Bedford or something. And, you know, where we go, we go. No particular rush. And anyway, I'm going to drink this cup of coffee, make my morning phone call, and then go start hauling this anchor. It's coming up on 9 o'clock, and we are just passing North End Light on Block Island. We're sailing wing and wing, and for the first time since I've owned this boat, I've got the full main up. I did some work to it yesterday, the whole system, since we had that incident on the passage from New York to Block Island, or from Sandy Hook to Block Island. And now I've got the entire main up. Part of that was taken off the sail pack that it had, which was limiting the ability to be able to pull it up because the sail pack was too small for the sail as far as length goes. And since the sail pack, like most of the other canvas on this boat right now, is geriatric, and was starting to come apart every time I would pull on it or something, it would rip. So it's like, just as soon get rid of it. So it's now piled up back here. I'm going to strip some parts off of it, take the zipper off. The zipper's still good. I can use that for other things later on. And I will just run with this sail now and see how she goes when I can go get her to full hoist. So anyway, we're wing and wing, headed kind of northeast, and we'll see how close to the canal we can get today. Right now we have very light winds. We're only doing a couple of knots. Good thing is the sun doesn't go down until almost 8 o'clock now, so I've got a good long day. It's nice and calm, nice and flat seas. As soon as I get out of the lee of the island here, Block Island, I should get some wind. They're saying, 9 knots is what they're saying we're going to have for a southwest breeze today. So with that, we ought to push along reasonably comfortably. And we'll see how far we go. Well, we just anchored. It's 10 minutes past 8 now, I guess, in the evening. Got a big full moon behind me. I'm letting the anchor settle for a second. We'll let a little more scope out, put the main away, get the deck secure, go down below because it's getting chilly out. We're anchored up at West Island, which is just east of New Bedford, Massachusetts. This is where you may remember I anchored up after clearing through the Cape Cod Canal on the trip south, where I had to mend a sail because it blew out and all of that sort of thing. This is the same anchorage for there. I'll stay here through the day tomorrow. It's supposed to rain tomorrow afternoon, and it's going to be a little blustery in the Gulf of Maine. So we'll stay here through tomorrow and do some computer work, you know, video editing, photo editing, that sort of thing. And then we'll get up bright and early on Thursday. Tomorrow is, yeah, this is Tuesday. Yeah, so we'll get up bright and early on Thursday and go through the canal because the morning has the current going in the right direction, and into the Gulf of Maine, where at that point it's going to be rather calm for a little while. And I may be setting and resetting and doing other things to get the sails to give us some power all the way up to Maine, up to Penobscot Bay. May get some decent wind in spurts and what have you. Anyway, I'll be up in Maine probably this coming weekend. But right now we are anchored just to the east side of West Island in Buzzards Bay, just at the west side of the Cape Cod Canal. And it's a full moon.